All right. Let's see if this is working. Hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully everything is gravy because it's been a quick moment. I am not in my usual place. I am kind of like in the running place with a little bit of artwork. Um, and yeah, welcome. I doubt that anyone's going to show up in the live chat, but I'm not using it for that. I'm using it to actually get kind of like a blog going or like a vlog because I don't have time to do highly structured, highly edited stuff. I wanted to keep using this format. So, where am I at with the running communities? Last time I checked in with you, I had the idea of working on getting something at Vasquez Rocks, and I'm happy to report that I did. Um, it's what I like to call a soft open. There were quite a few things that seemed like they were going to align, and some of them did, and some of them didn't. So, what was the process? I wanted to make something that was actually official for the park to be able to not advertise, to be able to promote with like some type of like LA County Vasquez Rocks group permission thingy. Like instead of just telling people in my running community and my gaming community, show up on this date, here we go. I actually kind of wanted to do it in an official sense and put it on the radar of the people at the park. And so ended up talking to the public relations person. I'm not going to use any names because since this is my own video, I don't, like I didn't ask them for permission. I'm just simply saying like the position that I interacted with, and I could even be getting that wrong. It could be a something other than a public relations, but that's what it felt like because they were very supportive of like, let's get you in contact with the superintendent of the park and have conversations. And what it translated to is doing something official at any like public park in LA County does take a certain amount of paperwork that it can easily make you go, you know what, never mind. I'll just invite people and that's it. But I persisted and the people were really cool about helping me find different ways to get effectively insurance. Here's something that they don't tell you in these community events for running. I don't necessarily know if it's for gaming, but I would imagine that's where a lot of the money for like big tournaments and conventions come from, money to pay for liability. And that's what I was looking at. And I think for anyone who's like interested in doing something like a run at their favorite park and they wanted to do it the same way I did or find that's the best way, you just pay the full money route, you have liability insurance, you're okay. There's becoming a volunteer, getting fingerprinted and all that. That's what I'm in the process of right now. Two, and that was actually the third. I can't remember the second one, but that's the cool thing. There were actually options to work with to decrease the cost of what it would take to make the running event happen. So, um, because of a gaming event in my gaming community where I went to Las Vegas Open, um, I didn't get the chance to get fingerprinted. And so I got to make the flyer. I sent it to the people that I had talked to, said, is this kosher? They're like, yeah, it's good. Go ahead. And it was a very, very small soft open. Um, I invited people from my running community, from my work community, from my um, gaming community, and people from my work community and my personal life showed up. It was kind of like the usuals in my personal life, my wife, my daughter, our family friends, but then also like a coworker and her sister came out. A lot of people from my gaming community had expressed interest, but it just didn't work out. And the running community, like I'm getting the fact, and this is something I'll talk about a little bit later. Just I'm not really connected to any specific running community anymore. There's not people that I talk to. There's people that I've run with that I talk to on Instagram, but I'm not going to any community events or anything like that. So I think that community has shrunk a lot. Now, mind you, my buddy Hector, who's probably my like number one commenter, and I love you for that, Hector. I hope you see this and go, "Hey, I got mentioned." He was down to come, but it was last minute notice on my part. So we showed up 8 a.m. It's cold. It was really cold. Bright as sun was out though. The air quality was really good. Like I'm filming this 2 to 3 weeks after the incredibly devastating fires in LA, the Eden Fire, the Palisades Fire. So I'm actually very happy that, we came out and no one was like, this is going to trigger my asthma, but I'm so happy I'm here. Like there was none of that. So um, we went for 30 minutes since there were no runners showed up. That was the most hilarious thing. Like the last time I did this, runners showed up, but not this time. It was just that small group. And so I actually got to enjoy something that I normally don't because I'm usually running. I got to walk with my wife and my daughter and the friends and just have a good time. And 30 minutes went by so quickly because it felt like we barely got into the part of the park that I took them to, which was the Green Valley Trail. And yeah, it just didn't happen like I thought it would. We came back, we got in, came home, and I made my wife breakfast. I made myself breakfast, made my daughter breakfast. It was a really nice little thing. It's a soft open, so there's no upset, and oh, it was nice to put it on. And that's the best thing I can say about everything. Like, regardless of what happened and who showed up, it was exactly what I wanted it to be, which was I kept my word. It was on the 25th, and cool. So the next date will probably be the first weekend of March and not February, because the one thing that is not working is aligning the running and gaming events. The communities are aligned in that they each have their own place. And sometimes I bring them closer together with like stuff like this. But, oh, and that's the interesting thing. Gaming is harder to get people from your life to come into, but it's where you meet a lot of good people who are open to coming to events like this because they're not just gamers. Hope that makes sense. Like, what I can tell you is it's interesting when you realize one community is more open to doing things than other communities. And so you'll get one community to volunteer to come participate in the other community's events while the other one won't. Like asking my running buddies to come to a game tournament sounds crazy. And work, I can have it there and they can be like, oh my God, that's so cool. And they never come and sit down to learn how to play. But the work, the running, and the gaming community, they will all show up for a running event or like a hiking event, that physical activity that everyone knows that they need and they want. It's like we love to go outside. So, yeah, that's kind of the breakdown. I don't know how long I've talked. Okay, 8 minutes. I think I'm just going to go for 10 minutes because I'm not trying to beat the algorithm. This channel is so not about the algorithm. But I do hope people find it and it starts becoming useful. Okay. What worked? Very simply, persistence. Persistence worked. I could have given up because it wasn't the thing that I wanted it to be. It didn't look the way I wanted it to be. And yet I kept trucking and it happened. Like, regardless of whatever happens, at least I can say I tried, something happened, and maybe it'll fizzle away, but I don't think so. I think it's the same thing that I took from my gaming community. You got to build slowly and steadily. Like, it's what my buddy Daniel has done with the game Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. He was really, really, really disheartened for a while because nothing really was getting people to play. And now he's got people playing. And just the joy of like, this is what it is. Yay. Makes me happy to see that happen. Because he stepped in for that community when I thought I was going to. And then I'm like, you take it. I'm already doing enough. Okay. What worked not as well as I wanted to do? Not what's wrong. Taking that language from landmark education. It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's about what works and what doesn't work, or doesn't work as well as you want it to. That doesn't work as well. Getting the flyer done, sending it out soon enough, getting people to confirm and really to plan. It's like any event. People are going to show up if they show up. Also, just what's not working right now is the follow up. So I'm going to give myself to this Friday to reach out to the people at Vasquez, complete the process that I started, start sending out the information, schedule the actual day for the next event, and then go from there. So that makes me happy. And, in verbalizing and talking about this, I gotta say the best thing is there's so much more about what worked in this running community and what didn't work that I'm done. That's nice. So, community organizers or like running organizers or people who are struggling with this sense of how do I get the community that I want to be a part of? Just go do it. Don't worry about it. It's not going to look the way you want it to. Keep trucking. So, yeah, I'll use the line I always use on all my running videos. Let's go.